I automated my entire funding business so it could run while I'm busy or snowboarding. And the result, 13 deals funded and closed while I was literally on the ski lifts last week. Now, look, maybe you're not hitting the slopes every day, but I know you're busy. Work, kids, life, whatever it is, if you want a business that makes money while you're living your life, this video will show you how I built it. I'm going to show you exactly how I automated my entire business and walk you through the CRM that I use step by step so that you can set yours up in the exact same way. And by the end, you'll be able to go from this mess to this and know for a fact that it actually works. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that we're going to do is take a look at my funding website. Now, this is the start of everything, right? Because my funding website is where deals actually come into. This is where I make decisions about what questions I'm going to ask, what things I need from people up front, and everything like that. Now, of course, before you even get into this, you got to have leads, right? So you can click somewhere up top on this video and I'll put you on a video about leads and show you how to get those. But once you get past that, you can come back here and check this out because this is how I manage everything while staying busy. So here's my funding website. You can see it's super basic, right? It's got some FAQs, it's got some walkthroughs, but here's what I want to show you. If you go in here and you can click on submit funding request, you will see this funding intake form. Now, as we go through this, you might think like, oh, this just looks like a normal form, and you're not wrong, but this is a form that I have changed literally 50 times inside of my funding business to make sure that I'm collecting the most pertinent information for each type of deal, not collecting the things I don't need, because something a lot of you might miss is that if you ask too many questions, right? If you've ever taken one of those things that has like 50 questions, like a survey or something, you never make it to the end, right? But if you ask too little questions, anybody can submit stuff and it can be total garbage. So you have to find that happy medium. This is my happy medium. So if you look at this funding request, you'll see we've got the basic details, right? This would be the details of the person requesting. You've got the deal details, and then we've got our deal type. So let's go ahead and fill this out so that we can test out the entire thing. So I'll click here. We'll fill out some basic details. Let me swap that over for the test. And then let's say that we are requesting $7,500, right? Now we're going to go down here. Now this is a development that I've made that has been huge for my business on the request side of things, and it's breaking down the different types of funding beforehand. So what I do is I give a really basic breakdown. You can see for earnest money. We will fund your earnest money deposit with the proper protection. This is only for the refundable deposit on your contract, right? So we've got 5 different types of funding, and then we've got this question, and this changed everything for the request that I had coming in. Which of the following from above best describes your deal, right? Not which one is your deal, which one best describes it, because a lot of people think their deal is something that it's not, and this is really helpful. So we'll go in here and let's say that we are going to be requesting earnest money. You see there's nothing else on this form, but if we select earnest money, it'll now ask us earnest money related questions. First of all, I charge an upfront fee. The reason I do that is so that my work is not done for free every single time because we have a lot of deals coming in. If you want to do that, you can. If you don't have to. So is the person willing to pay the fee? They say yes. The money's for a fix and flip. They've got a bunch of experience, and let's say their inspection period ends in a couple weeks, right? Then I'm going to have them upload the purchase contract. That's how I verify all of this information. I'll show you in just a second, but when they upload this purchase contract, that's how you take things like the address, right, that they're requesting, the amount of money that they're requesting. Is the deposit refundable, right? All of those things are going to be on the contract itself. So we'll open this up and we'll put in a contract. And then the last thing I have them do is say that I understand that this does not guarantee funding. It's just collecting information, right? So we'll click that box right there and click submit request. Now, this video is just show you how I've automated everything, how everything works in the background. And by the way, how I built and used this to grow my business to over $10,000 a month right while working my W-2. Right? So whether you're busy or whatever it might be, this is what I built for exactly that. So you can see the request was submitted. So let's pretend like we are the borrower, right? We're the borrower requesting money in this scenario. So let's go to the borrower email, and you'll see right here, they immediately get an email that says your request for $7,500 EMD was received, and this is step 1. And if we click on that, you'll see it's a really basic email that basically just says, hey, I received your request. Also, did you know I pay for referrals? That's a big one. I get deals through that. Yeah, smart, huh? Cool. Okay, so that's the first email that they get. Now, that email tells them basically, hold on for a second because we're reviewing, right? Now, what about on my end? What email do I get when somebody requests? Well, if we click over to this email, you'll see right here, EMD request of $7,500. And if we click on it, you'll see all the deal details are broken down for me so that I can vet the deal, okay? Again, this is all automatic. You've seen I haven't done anything yet. So all the deal details that they just submitted are in here, and you can see I can even click right here, and it'll immediately pop up in the contract so that I can review the contract and make sure that everything is good, right? So that's all perfect. Now, let's jump over to the actual CRM and see what things look like. So if we jump in here, this is DealSync. This is the CRM I use to run my entire funding business. This website that you're looking at is run through DealSync. All of my invoices and contracts and everything I'm about to show you is all run through here. And you can see we've got our entire pipeline. So we've got deals coming in. The first place they go is funding request. You can see the deal that we just requested right there, right? It pops into funding request. And then from there, we can move it into whether or not it's an EMD deal, a transactional deal, if we funded it, closed it, canceled, right? All these different things that could come up. So we're going to go ahead and click on this request. And you will see all of the deal details in here, right? And if you click up here, you'll even see where it says EMD deal details, and that'll break down some additional details like the amount and the experience and the strategy and all of those things. For transactional deals, it would pop there, but it organizes all of the deal details for you so that you can vet, right? So we're going to go through this. We're going to look at the deal details that pop up, and we're going to vet everything just like from this email right here. You can really do it from either place and make a decision on whether or not this deal is something that we're going to fund. Now, let me get rid of that so that we make sure that this works properly. So now that that's there, right, you get to make a decision. This is the first step in my process of whether or not the deal is approved. Now, you might be asking, well, I thought this whole thing was automated. You can make this fully automated or 99% automated, right? I choose for it to be 99% automated because I don't want to tell somebody I've approved their deal and then go back on my word. So what I do is I have this little in-between step, right? Here's what the borrower got. Their email says, hey, we're reviewing the deal real quick to confirm the details, and then you'll get an email momentarily, right? So we do that, and then I click right here and I review those details, check on everything, and make sure it's all good. If you want, you can even set up DealSync to just have it automatically approved and move that forward. But what happens now? So we've reviewed the deal details. Now we need to make a decision on whether or not we're going to approve. If we move it over here, we can reject the deal, right, into right here, and it'll just say, hey, unfortunately, we can't fund your deal. Give them some reasons if you want to, whatever it might be, and it'll send that out automatically. But otherwise, you can say, hey, cool, this is a deal that we can totally fund. That doesn't mean, again, even just approving this doesn't mean you're going to fund it. It just means that you're moving it on to the next step. So what I'm about to show you is the only step that you have to do between now and actually actively funding the deal. So we're literally just going to drag it from request to approved EMD deal. That's it. That is the only action that I have to take. Now, what actually happens once I do that? Well, there's a lot of things that happen when I do that because there's a lot of things that have to happen when funding an EMD deal. Another thing a lot of people miss. There's a lot that goes into this if you want to not only fund the deal, but actually fund it safely and have your money protected. So let's go back here. This is the borrower's email, and you'll see they now have a step 2 email. Your EMD request has been approved. It's got step 2 right there, and we'll click on it, and it very clearly states what they need to do. So there's 2 actions, right? It lets them know that it's been approved. Please follow the next steps and understand that you will not be funded until all of them are completed. Number 1, get the attached mutual release signed by your seller, right? This is huge. So you can see right here, we send them a special mutual release that we've had drafted up by our attorneys that basically states that the seller's not going to argue if you try to get this money back within the inspection period so that you don't have to deal with any issues. Now, this, as you can see, gets sent to them automatically so that we don't have to deal with this back and forth. It's just, hey, here this is. You have to sign it or else we can't move forward. Putting the ball in their court. That's my objective with this. Now, number 2 is sign the EMD contracts and pay the upfront fee. Now, you can see I haven't done anything, but it says they were just sent to your email. So magically, those were also automatically sent to the email when it was approved. All hands off on our end. The only thing we're doing is approving it. And your goal in general, if you want to automate your funding business or really any business, is to always push things off onto other people when you can because you don't have a lot of potential available time, right? That's our objective. So you can see in step 2 here, that's the 2 things that they're told to do. Now, these things can't necessarily be done in 2 seconds. For example, when you open up this mutual release, you got to send that to your seller. You got to get it signed. You got to answer their questions if they might have it. But again, that basically just states, hey, we are not going to object to you requesting this money back if you request it within the mutual release timeline. Now, I assume that it's probably going to take them at least a second to do that. So I have that as step 1, right? If you don't go do that, you can't do anything else. After they've done that, in theory, based on the order that we've put this together here, you'll see that it says now you can sign the EMD contracts and pay the upfront fee. Now, when I was getting started, this used to be a pain in the butt to get these contracts sent to people, and you'd have to go in on like DocuSign, fill out all of your information, right? Every time, oh, here's my, whatever, fill out the details, then send it over to the people, and then have them sign it, and then get everything moved forward, and then send them some sort of a payment link or something else to pay your upfront fee if you have one of those. Lots of maneuvering, lots of back and forth, which kills a ton of time, by the way. A whole pain in the butt. Now, on this tester, I know that this is going into my spam email. Let's see if I can move it over. The normal one does not. So you'll see that email was sent 1 minute later, right? This one came in at 11:58, the other one at 11:59. So we'll click on this, and it'll say, hey, you got a document sent to sign. And if you click on that document, it's going to open up our contract, right? And you can see it's already pre-populated the property's address. The full contract will populate basically everything that they've already submitted. And this is the contract for them to sign. So this is probably a, 10-page contract, something like that. That's got a whole bunch of EMD information. That's not what I'm here to show you today. I'm here to show you how I automated it. So your borrower, again, without you having to do anything, will come in here and let's say, the buyer's name is Ryan Schrope. Cool. Click next. Have them sign it, date it, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that they'll put on there too. But here's what's really cool. Once they've signed this, again, this has been sent to them automatically. They can click right here, finish and complete payment. And now, when I used to do this, it used to be like, try and have them wire the money or have them like Venmo the money or whatever, or set up like a separate page with Stripe or whatever that might be. But now, the second they fill out the contract and finish it, it immediately sends them this invoice for their upfront fee. In this case, it was $250. They can click right here. They can throw in their credit card and boom, just like that, good to go. So you've got the entire process automated from the deal coming in, right? Intaking of the deal on the website itself, to the emails that's being sent to your borrower, to the contract being sent to them to sign, which doesn't require anything from me. I have that contract pre-filled so that I don't have to do anything. And then the invoice being sent to them. So by the time they get into DealSync, they get that request in, you get that request approved, they have already done basically everything that you need them to do. All powered through DealSync, all with one action, right? If you choose, which is going from funding request to approving the deal. And just like that, you can see I've got some other samples in here. We do this with EMDs and double closing and the stack method and all of these different things. And you can see they all just get organized nice and neat inside of here so that everything can be done and facilitated. And there's so much more that goes into it. Like, for example, if you want to send them a note about, hey, your contract was missing this thing, or it might take a minute for us to do this because of whatever, you can just add notes in right here. Hey, it is going to take me a minute to speak with the title company. Boom, click save. And it's going to automatically now send this message to your borrower. So you can keep them updated in real time. You can keep the conversations nice and clean. You don't have a bunch of emails flying around back and forth, but you can keep track of everything from the payments, right, that are coming in, to the tasks, to the deal details for the EMD deal itself. And you can add in additional things like the HUD statement in here, the wire instructions when they get sent in. All of those different things can be automated along the way. But what's most important is that if you use DealSync like I do, and you have all of this automated, then not only can you get the contracts done, the payments done, all the data collection done, but you can do it and push everything off to your borrower so that you don't have to spend a ton of time. And that's the key, right? When I started doing this, I was working full-time as an engineer, right? I was in meetings, I was going on trips, whatever it might be, and my business was still fully running. And even now, right, I've made it even better now to the point where obviously I don't have a job, but I can do the fun stuff, right? I can go skiing and I can have deals come in, getting approved, getting sent, getting moved along without me having to constantly be sitting there on my phone, staring at stuff, dealing with it. So I hope this video has been helpful, just giving you a little behind the scenes look, a little bit of the behind the curtain on how my website works, on how I facilitate all of these deals coming in. On a typical day, we have anywhere from 5 to 10 deals come in that are getting approved, that are getting funded, that are getting worked on by the team, and it all starts with this up front. If you don't do something like this, what happens is you spend a ton of time on garbage. You spend a ton of time on EMD deals that aren't actually deals, on non-refundable deals, on deals where you don't have enough of the details, right? You waste time on things that aren't actually going to make you any money, and they're not going to teach you anything. They're not going to do anything beneficial for you. But if you allow yourself to create some sort of, jank together system like I did when I was getting started, that's exactly what happens. But if you want to take advantage of your time, using something like DealSync, using these systems that I just showed you is a great step, and it's not theory. I do it every single day. I know it works. I have proof. We've done up to 30 deals in a month, all using this exact same system. So I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. If you want to learn more about how you can use this exact system and how you can get the leads to pull into this system, the first link in this description has a link to my free real estate group online that you can jump into with more live training and more details and resources that you can take advantage of. Again, first link down there. I hope this video has been helpful. Leave a comment if you have any questions for me, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.